Hello, everyone. Welcome to Site24x7 webinar series. I'm Elizabeth, and I'm going to be your host and presenter for this webinar. Joining with me today is Mani, our technical support expert. Hi, Mani. Thank you for joining. So, the topic for today's webinar is Mastering Capacity Planning with Site24x7. So before we kick things off, let's check out what we have got in store for you today. So we will start with an overview about Site24x7 and followed by a short overview of capacity planning, and then we'll look deeper into Site24x7's capacity planning with a use case, a demo, and we'll end the session with a case study. So like I said, let's start with a short introduction about Site24x7 and where we stand today. Zoho's IT management arm, ManageEngine, began developing Site24x7 about 15 years ago as a monitoring solution that could cater to the needs of a rapidly emerging cloud-centric IT environment. Now, Site24x7 has evolved into an AIOps-powered digital experience monitoring, ITOM, and observability solution for companies of all sizes. It is also a full stack solution that provides advanced monitoring capabilities like website monitoring, server monitoring, cloud monitoring, network monitoring, and much more. Now let's take a quick glance at capacity planning and what is its relevance. So in business, hitting the sweet spot between your resources and what you can handle is the key to success. You can't expect to go full throttle all the time because that's a surefire way to crash and burn. That's where capacity planning comes in. So it's like a smart strategy to make sure you've got some breathing room. You got to handle enough spare capacity to handle those unexpected surges in demand and be ready to take on more work. So it's all about being prepared for whatever comes your way. So to put it in technical terms, capacity planning manages the capacity of the infrastructure to ensure optimal performance for the workloads. It analyzes the resource usage and enables you to plan, process, and procure additional resources based on the metrics related data collected. Let's see what Site24x7's capacity planning offers you. Site24x7's capacity planning feature provides you with an aggregated value of a metric by grouping resources of your choice. For ease of administration, you can choose to group the resources based on the business application, resource ownership, or geography. You can also set thresholds and get alerted when a value breach occurs in the capacity planning. Site24x7's capacity planning supports AWS monitors and server monitors. So listed on the slide are some of the salient features offered by Site24x7's capacity planning. So let's take a look at them one by one, starting up with performance monitoring. So the performance monitoring feature enables you to view and track the capacity utilization of your resources based on metrics like CPU, memory, storage, etc. You can also monitor the health or status of your resources grouped under the capacity monitor. And next one is the capacity planning analysis. So with capacity planning analysis, you can obtain the current health and an overview of the capacity usage metrics based on your resource type. So the health analysis is based on the performance metrics of the resource type. Next one is the task support. So with task support, it helps you to add tags and easily group your resources for capacity planning. Another interesting feature is the IT automation for capacity planning, which involves automating the resources mapped under the capacity planning monitor. That means you can execute IT automation for all the resources grouped under capacity planning monitors as a single action instead of individually executing the automation for each resource. So while ZIA Forecast gives you the forecasting data and manages the capacity of your resources, the Outlier feature finds the outliers, the data points beyond the average value, and maintains the quality of your resources. You can analyze the performance variation among monitors and identify the top and least contributors based on the performance with top-end and bottom-end analysis report. So let's see a use case to understand how Site 24/7's capacity planning helps you to optimize your performance workload. So consider that you run multiple resources to perform one business application. In this case, finding the under or overutilized resource is tough. Not to mention the stress to monitor each resource individually, collecting their performance stats and recording their behavior. But by integrating those resources into capacity planning, you can determine the required capacity for your infrastructure. So with capacity planning, you can seamlessly track the size, space, network, and capability of resources, irrespective of the number to run your business application in a single resource. So I hope you got an idea about Site 24/7's capacity planning. Now let's go ahead and watch a demo. So let me just quickly share my demo screen. I hope my demo screen is visible to you. So here, as you can see, in order to access the capacity planning or configure capacity planning for your monitor group, you need to log into your Site 24/7 account, navigate to the home, monitor groups, and select a monitor group for which you have to configure your capacity planning. So for ease of demonstration, I'm going to use a monitor group which is already configured with capacity planning monitor. So capacity is my monitor group, which has been already configured with capacity planning feature. So as you go to the capacity planning tab, you can see the list of capacity planning monitors created for this particular monitor group. So there are more than 3 capacity planning monitors created for this particular capacity monitor group. So Site 24/7 also offers you the auto creation feature, which enables capacity planning monitors to be added automatically for a particular monitor group. So from the capacity planning tab, toggle this auto create capacity planning option to yes to automatically create capacity planning monitors for a particular monitor group. You can also manually create a capacity planning for your monitor group by just clicking this add capacity planning button at the top right corner. And now let's try adding a capacity planning monitor. I'm going to click on this button. So that will take me to the add capacity planning page where you have to provide a display name. I'm going to provide a display name for this monitor, capacity planning monitor. Let's name it as Zilker ABC. And the monitor group name is capacity, which is already configured. And let's select the monitor type. So the monitor type you can select as server monitor. Filter the resources based on the tags. I'm going to select all and click next. So you will be taken to this page where all the monitors that are required to be added for the capacity planning monitor will be listed out. You can just view them and verify them. So once that's done, click next. Again, you'll be taken to the add capacity planning page where you have the option to configure the threshold profiles, configuration profiles, alert settings, third-party integrations, etc. So once you're done with your required configurations, click Save. So once you click Save, the capacity planning, go to the capacity planning tab of the monitor group. You can see the monitor capacity planning monitor that you created listed out under the capacity planning monitor section. So Zilker ABC, this is the monitor group capacity planning monitor that we just created. So for our demonstration, I'm going to take this particular capacity planning monitor. So I'm going to click on it. So it takes you to the capacity planning monitor summary tab. So this summary tab, it displays the overall details about capacity planning analysis, along with its health check details like total monitors, overall availability, and total downtime. So if you click on the view detailed analysis, you'll be taken to the capacity planning analysis tab where you can see an in-depth analysis of the capacity usage metrics. So I'll be talking about the tab once I discuss the monitored resources tab. So the next one is the monitored resources tab. So in this section, you can view the list of all the resources mapped under the respective capacity planning monitor, along with a status, outage time, and the reason for the outage. You can also view the performance stats of the monitor based on the thresholds provided at the capacity level. So next up is the capacity planning analysis tab. Now, the capacity planning analysis tab provides you the current health and an overview of the capacity usage metrics based on your monitor type. The health analysis is based on the performance metrics of the resource type. You can also choose performance metrics with custom values for the health analysis and configure threshold metrics. So as you can see here, you will see the overview, capacity level, and major contributors of a particular metric or every metric according to your preference with the capacity level analysis. So you can choose this drop down here at the right side and either choose your preferred metrics or you can view all the metrics at once. So here I'm going to choose CPU usage just for an example. So if you choose CPU usage, you can see the overview of that CPU usage metric with details like the current value, configured threshold, usage capacity, etc. And then we have the capacity level. So capacity level is the percentage of the current value to reach the threshold value. So for example, in the CPU usage, the current value is 3.7%, the configured threshold is 90%, and the capacity level is 4%. So that means the CPU usage metric has reached 4.2% of the configured threshold, and the CPU usage metric is in optimal state. And coming to the major contributors section. So the major contributors section lists all the monitors that contribute to the capacity level along with the value. So it helps you to understand which monitor or instance uses up the maximum capacity in a particular capacity planning monitor group and how much they contribute. So if you click on this monitor, you will be redirected to that monitor summary page. And next up is the ZIA forecast tab. So forecasting allows you to predict future points of a capacity planning monitor's performance with Site24x7's AI-powered insights based on historical time series data. So you would need at least 30 days of historical data in order to predict what your metric usage will be in the next 30 days. So you can obtain these forecast data for total number of monitors, availability, maximum downtime, and you can also receive forecasts for the critical performance metrics of the monitors in your capacity planning group. So next one is the outlier analysis tab. So what is an outlier? So outlier detection in capacity planning identifies the resources that show unusual behavior compared to the rest of the resources with respect to performance. So it's like observations and applications that occur due to the variation in the distribution of workloads or any failures in resources. So we have monitor-based outlier type and attribute-based outlier type. You can choose your preference here and view the data accordingly. So since for this particular capacity planning monitor, there is no outliers detected, but I'll be showing you a screenshot to see how this tab would look like with data at the end of this demo. So moving on to the top end and bottom end analysis. So the top end and bottom end analysis tab displays the top and bottom performance variations for monitors grouped under the capacity planning based on performance metrics. So here also you have the option to filter out the top end analysis and bottom end analysis. You can also choose the metrics of your choice, or you can view all the metrics at once. So next up is the RDS instance information tab. So since this particular capacity planning monitor has the monitor type configured as RDS instance, you'll see the RDS related data over here, related tabs over here. Suppose if you have configured the monitor type as server, you will see server related data along with the other capacity planning tabs. So next up is the outages tab. So every time an outage is detected, a root cause analysis report is generated and sent to the user based on the alerting contact and media. So the RCA generated provides the actual reason behind the downtime along with other data like monitored resources, individual resource outages, data on top end monitors for the attributes experiencing outages. So here also we don't have any outage detected as such for this particular capacity planning monitor. But I'll show you a screenshot again with the how the tab would look like with data. So next up is the inventory tab with the inventory details like monitor licensing category, check frequency, monitor creation time, last modified time, etc. And then finally, we have the log report. So with the log details, which also gives you the option to download it into a CSV file format. So that's it with the demo. Now I'm going to go back to my presentation and show you how the Outlier analysis tab and outages tab would look like. So I'm going to quickly share my presentation now. Yeah. So as you can see here, this is how the Outlier analysis tab with data would look like. So you can choose the Outlier type from this drop down here. So there are monitor based and attribute based outliers available for capacity planning. The monitor based outlier determines the outlier based on the monitor. You can also select the required attribute for the monitor from the choose attribute field and see a detailed view of the attribute performance for that particular monitor. Similarly, if you choose attribute as the outlier type, it determines the outliers based on the attribute. And when you choose outlier type as attribute, this particular field will be displayed as choose monitors. So you can select the required monitor for the attribute from the choose monitor field and see a detailed view of the monitor performance for that particular attribute. And now let's see the outages tab. So this is how an outages tab would look like with data. So like I said, if you look into it, you can see a view RCA link here. So when you click on it, the RCA report will be generated and it provide the actual reason behind the downtime along with other data like monitored resources, individual resources, outages, data on the top end monitors for the attributes experiencing the outages and other anomalies. So that's pretty much about the live demo. Now let's quickly look into a case study. So this case study is about an e-commerce platform where it is used Site24x7's capacity planning to optimize their infrastructure workload and grow effectively. So let's go to the case study. So like I said, Zilker is a fast-growing e-commerce platform that has experienced tremendous growth in recent years. So with an expanding customer base and increasing demands on their online services, this company faces challenges in managing their IT infrastructure efficiently. To ensure a seamless user experience, they need to optimize their infrastructure workload and plan for future growth effectively. This is where Site24x7's capacity planning comes into play. Let's look into the challenges faced by Zilker. So with an expanding customer base and increasing demand, this e-commerce platform experienced unpredictable traffic spikes during peak sales seasons and marketing campaigns. This resulted in performance bottlenecks and potential service disruptions. In addition to that, the lack of visibility into resource utilization led to inefficiencies, with some servers being underutilized while others ran close to capacity, resulting in cost overruns and resource wastage. Moreover, as the company continued to grow, they needed to plan for scaling their infrastructure proactively to accommodate the increasing workload. So, what was the solution for this? So, as a solution, Zilker decided to implement Site24x7's capacity planning to gain insights into the infrastructure's current resource usage, identify potential bottlenecks, and plan, process, and procure additional resources based on the metrics related data collected. So, what was the results? So, Site24x7's capacity planning provided real-time monitoring of the health and status of Zilker's resources. It also tracked the capacity utilization of the resources based on metrics like CPU, memory, storage, etc. With the top end and bottom end analysis report, it got the performance variation among Zilker's resources, a detailed report about the performance variation among Zilker's resources. Site24x7's capacity planning identified the workload which each monitor shared from the top end and bottom end analysis. It also showed the top and least contributors based on the performance, resulting in effective allocation of resources. And with AI-powered capacity forecast, Zilker was able to scale their infrastructure proactively. Zilker also reduced their IT operational expenditures by identifying and eliminating unnecessary resource overprovisioning. Site24/7's capacity planning's ability to identify and address potential performance bottlenecks in advance significantly improve the overall reliability of their online services. By finding outliers, Silka was able to maintain the quality of their resources. They were also able to proactively diagnose service issues and drill down to the root cause of the issue, which in turn helped them to reduce the downtime of their online services. So, what are the observations that we can draw from this case study? By leveraging real-time monitoring, proactive forecasting, capacity analysis, and right-sizing their resources, this e-commerce platform was able to enhance their resource performance and availability, coordinate the workload among resources, eliminate resource over-provisioning, and reduce their downtime. So Site24/7's capacity planning proved to be an indispensable feature for Zilker in optimizing their infrastructure workload and planning for future growth. So I hope you got a clear picture now about Site24/7's capacity planning. So before we conclude, let's take a quick recap about Site24/7's capacity planning. So as mentioned before, capacity planning analyzes the resource usage and enables you to plan, process, and procure additional resources based on the metrics related data collected. With capacity planning, you can view and track the capacity utilization of your resources based on metrics like CPU, memory, storage, etc. You can also monitor the health or status of your resources grouped under the capacity planning monitor. You can forecast and manage the capacity of your resources as well as coordinate workload among resources with the top end and bottom end analysis. You can find the outliers, the data points beyond the average value, and maintain the quality of your resources. And finally, capacity planning enables you to diagnose service issues in your resources and drill down to the root cause of the issue. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about Site24/7's capacity planning. Hope you had an interesting session. So before wrapping things up, I got to share some awesome stuff about Site24/7 with you folks. So we support 13,000 plus customers worldwide and monitors billions of metrics. We provide mobile and desktop support in addition to monitoring from global locations. Furthermore, we offer a 30-day free trial, so you can totally check it out and sign up later. Let me also point out that we also provide separate pricing plans for MSP customers. Site24/7 complies with all the major security standards as it undergoes an industry standard audit every year, where an evaluation of the design and operative effectiveness is diligently done. Please find our contact details here or just hit up our website for more information. So thus, we have come to the end of our session. So I'm going to open the floor for any questions. So feel free to shoot your questions and put it up in the Q&A session. Our technical expert, Mani, will be taking and answering your questions. Over to you, Mani. Okay, I see that we don't have any questions. Okay, I take it that we don't have any questions. So thank you for being here today. Hope you found this webinar to be educational and interesting. Please visit our webinar page to get the list of upcoming webinars. We look forward to seeing you in our other sessions as well. Thank you for joining.